And we're back. You know, I should do a whole show on the breaks, like what's said during the commercial breaks, because some of that's fascinating. Anyway, I want to talk to Christy in just a minute about the Friends of Coal Ladies Auxiliary, but just to get some stats on the coal mines in Illinois, there are, wow, like, first of all, I don't know my terminology that well. I know that my husband's mine is a longwall mine. I know that Mock mine is a longwall mine. What's the difference between a regular old mine and a longwall mine? Is it how much coal's being produced daily?
It's the different machines, just really the different types of machines that cut it.
What's it called whenever you guys are just doing the little sections? What kind of mining is that?
We call it continuous mining.
No, I mean the little squares. No, what? I mean, I've seen the maps. Come on now.
Yeah, they're just, it's like cross cuts, heading cuts, room cuts, if you do room cuts. Long walls, they can just cut out, 3,500 tons an hour, pump out 3,500 tons an hour, and it's not something where a pinner it goes in there and pins it. You just
and
leave
a pinner is what for the layperson that has no clue? The roof bolter.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the basics because people don't know. Like I say, you guys have been under there and do this job. We're just the scared little wives above ground. Ooh, what's going on down there? So, how long is a roof bolt?
Depends.
How many feet is an average roof bolt?
So they have different sizes.
Like
3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot. I mean, I put up 12 foot.
Okay, so to
cable
me,
bolts.
I'm thinking, okay, they are 90 stories deep, and they are going to make a hole and glue in a 6-foot pin. Come on.
Well, if it's got a crack in the top, it's not going to hold it. Like that fall we had a couple months back, it was 37 feet high.
Now, do they do anything to kind of make sure, like, if something does start to come down, we get a warning, or it will sag or do falls? Are they all different? Is there any warning? Do you hear it?
If it's going to fall, it's going to fall. You can't put up anything to stop it because it'll rip it out. It'll rip out the hog panel.
And there's no rhyme or reason to falls, right?
Well, slips, cracks in the top, bad top. I mean, it'll fall.
Yeah, you can hit it.
You can hear it working, right?
Yeah, you can hear it cracking, popping. But
boom.
It's
a lot of
not.
time the roof does it'll give you a lot of signs, it'll give you signals. A lot of guys know what it is. And it's just, it's kind of amazing, because it seems like it'd be solid rock, right? But there are places where it kind of sounds hollow. And these guys know that. They're trained to know to what it sounds like, what it feels like when they're drilling through it. And they'll know in advance really what's going to happen. And so, they take care of it that way.
And I don't know if you have the statistics on this, but in the United States, what are the number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 states for coal? Like, who produces or has the most coal? Like, I know I always hear Kentucky, Illinois, West Virginia. Are those like the 3 major mining states, or am I not even right on that?
Well, Wyoming is number 1.
For real?
For real.
Shut the front door.
That's right.
Wyoming is the number 1 coal mining state in the United States?
Absolutely.
Because they have the most, or they pull out the most?
Because when they go to mine it you're saying 90 stories. They look up, and a lot of times in Wyoming, you'll see a coal seam, and it's 90 feet thick. How hard is that to get a lot of coal out of that?
Oh, wow.
And it's sitting right on the top, right?
And this is over millions of years. Things are like what? Is it like swampy areas and like moss and like remnants from like the trees and stuff getting mushed down over millions of years, and it turns into coal?
That's it.
That's creepy.
So Wyoming, then West Virginia, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Texas even, and then Illinois.
Okay, so if we're, what are we, 7? Was that 7? Wyoming? Yeah. Okay, so if we're like 5th or 6th or 7th in amounts of coal, how can some of our mines in southern Illinois be number 1 in coal? Is that production?
Yes, it's productivity, it's technology,
Lowest cost per ton.
That's
A lot of companies, if they can mine, 7,000 tons and spend half with half the guys, they just made the best bang for their buck.
Oh, wow.
Every company is lowest cost per ton.
Awesome. Like fascinating statistics, which we could spend a whole show on statistics. Anyway, I want to talk about the Friends of Coal Ladies Auxiliary. I can't believe we're like 8 minutes out from the end of the show. But a couple years ago, whenever my husband started at the mine, I got introduced to Christy, at the time Songer. She's now married to her man, Mike Lilly. And she started talking, or I heard about this thing called Friends of Coal Ladies Auxiliary. So give us the history about, of course, the inception of it in West Virginia and how it was brought to the state of Illinois.
They started in West Virginia. The ladies wanted to do something community service-based. So Friends of Coal was started to be a group to support the industry because West Virginia was struggling at that time with changes in regulations and
Lots of opposition from.
yeah. And so the people, the West Virginia Coal Association, wanted to come together and say, we just want to have a positive name for coal. So they started Friends of Coal. Then the ladies came in and said, let's do a community service aspect of this, because the coal industry does have a substantial amount of money to do things like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so they started doing their Friends of Coal Ladies Auxiliary. Then when I moved out here, I thought, this, I love to help others and do things for others, so I brought it out here. And
Literally in your living room, we had, what, 5 or 7 people?
yeah.
With
I think
the
there
idea.
was like 10 of us the first night, and we just sat around and said, well, what do we want to do? And so we sent out letters, and the coal mines, they knew, Friends of Coal in the industry, a lot of people hear about it and know about it, and it has a good reputation. So we sent out letters. And
we're not political. We're not
No.
fundraising. We
No.
are strictly funded by the generosity
Yeah,
from
we
the
don't-
mines and their
we-
suppliers.
We don't ask our members to do, to give out of their pockets or anything like that. So we just sent out letters, and we got checks, and then we went and did our first Christmas with, I think, 7 families. And this
Yeah,
year
our
we
first
did-
Christmas, our program for Christmas is called Giving Hearts, and we bought 2 years ago for 7 families from beginning to end. Every member of the family, we spend a certain amount on the family members, buy them a complete Christmas, give them a Christmas meal. We don't ask. If they say they are in need, we will put them on our list. And so we went from 2 Christmases ago, we bought a complete Christmas for 7 families, and we went last Saturday and bought
32.
32 families in Southern Illinois in need. It was awesome.
Yep, today they picked them up. They're wonderful families. They're so gracious, and it's a good thing. I will give the women in West Virginia props. They did 243.
Oh my gosh.
I told them that I have no idea how they don't go
Tell
crazy.
them we're on their tail, though. We went from 7 to 32 in 2 years, so we're on their tail. But to see whenever the families come, and one of the families that came today, a single mother had 2 children, and her little girl was 4. And one of the things, they give us their wants first, and we try to meet those, and then they get their needs. And the little girl, it said she was 4 years old, she wanted a bicycle. And so one of our members that shopped for that family got her a pink bicycle. And when the mother came today, she lost it. She's like, what's that? Is that what I think it is? We're like, yeah, it's a bike. And she's like, a pink bike? Literally lost it. And then we're all crying about it. And she's like, you don't know how much we appreciate it. And we said, we're just the vehicle that does the shopping. The mines in Southern Illinois are generously donating and giving back to the community.
And the affiliated businesses.
And the affiliated businesses. Quality Parts is where, I forgot to hang my Friends of Coal sign tonight.
I know.
Quality Parts and many businesses in the area that generate most of their income from the coal mines, selling them parts or supplies or whatever, are also big helpers. But to see this mom lose it over a simple bicycle, I can go out tomorrow if I'd like and buy my son a couple bicycles, but just to know the generosity of the donations from the coal mines given to these families in need. We do military families. We go to different schools and ask the guidance counselors, you're familiar with the children, please give us, some people in need. And a lot of the times the parents will not make a list. We don't want for us, we just want for our kids. Otherwise they wouldn't have anything. So to see the mother get so excited about the bike, and the little girl's like, Mama, what's in that trash bag? And, they were kidding her, saying, well, we don't know. They didn't have any wrapping paper, so it's just, probably some trash, so they could trick her. And, just to see people get so excited and be so appreciative. And then we have our Loving Souls program in the spring.
Loving Souls, we do shoes for kids who need shoes for summer. We get them all tennis shoes and...
Well, and a lot of people think because we're Southern Illinois or because, like Marion's got a high population of school children, or other towns like, oh, we're whatever in sports AA or single A or triple A, they must be fine. Once you get into the schools and you talk to the guidance counselors and say, who needs what? We went to a school east of town a couple of years ago and did Loving Souls, and this sweet little boy, I just wanted to put him in my pocket and take him home. He was probably in first grade, had on his brother from like 7th or 8th grade's coat, toes hanging out the end of his shoes, and he was just as happy as he could be. And they said, we'd give him extra snacks after school to take home to help feed the family. And I thought, wow, you just really don't know. Everybody's like, you see the commercials for the dogs and the cats and Ethiopia and Africa and other countries that need help, but it's like, it's in your backyard. So any little thing anybody can do to help, it's so appreciated. There went an hour. Thank you so much to everybody that was here tonight. There's a lot going on with coal in Southern Illinois, good, bad, and ugly. I want to get it out there. I want to talk about it. Thank you, Christy Lilly, for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Abijah Queen, for coming. Thank you, tiny little Stephanie Twitty, coal mine lady, for coming. I appreciate it. And Britt Kirby, I hope you find a job soon. I'm sure you will.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monica, for having me on the show. It was great to get to talk about Friends of Cole and talk about the great day we had.
Thank you, Monica, for having me on your show tonight. It was fun, and I enjoyed it, and love to do it again sometime.
I just want to thank you, Monica, for giving me the opportunity to talk about coal on your station. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm really glad I got to be here today. I think the only thing I missed out on was just really getting to throw out the positive spin, or really about what coal mining is really about, especially in Illinois. It's one of the safest things really I know of, and I know people don't think about that, but there's 90,000 coal miners, and really not very many get hurt, and the ones who do, it's like anything, everyone becomes complacent. Everyone struggles to focus their attention. When you're running big machinery, it's the same in any industry, but very, very, very rarely does the coal mine, is it actually the thing that injures a person or kills them. That just doesn't happen. In Illinois, we spend more money on roof control, on technology support, everything to make it very safe, and I just assume take my 7-year-old, 8-year-old, or 4-year-old in the coal mine before I put them in road construction or a roofer or something like that. It's that safe. It's an ancient, very cool world that we work in, and that I know the perception seems to be bad, but it's really a great thing. Thanks for having me.
It affects everyone differently, and it's everyone's point of view. It's more than a talk show. It's a reality check. It's Reality Check with Monica Zukas.